district championships are on the line in Week 11 of Texas high school football season. One district championship that has already been settled belongs to the Hitchcock Bulldogs as they clinch at least a share of the District 12 3A Division I title and in our Taco Bell Spotlight game of the week last week with a 44-24 win over East Chambers. And here to talk about his Bulldogs is the head coach of Hitchcock. We're joined by Coach Cody Carney. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
How are things in beautiful Hitchcock?
Everything's going good. Just got our playoff site secured and getting ready to go play the Lamarck Cougars this week.
Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit about that before we get into your outstanding win over East Chambers. But now you guys enter a game against a good Lamarck squad, a powerful Lamarck squad. With you said you've already got your playoff site settled. Pretty much everything's locked up. How do you motivate your kids for a game that maybe there's not as much as, let's put it this way, not as much as was on the line last week?
Well, there's not as much on the line, but there is as much on the line. I just got done talking to my kids yesterday about they have a great opportunity to make history twice in back-to-back weeks. We've never been back-to-back district champions in the history of the school. And like you said, we did clinch a share, at least, of the district title, as we did last year. So we made history there. And then we've also never beaten Lamarck. So that's a big thing for kind of the older community in the crowd, or the older community in the town. The kids are really working hard to make that happen for the community.
I want to ask you about last week, your win over East Chambers. You guys, this game was close at halftime, 22-17, before you guys really hit the gas in the second half. What was your message to your team in the second half and at halftime to get them to run away with this one?
We just told everybody to keep their heads up. We got everything just like right where we wanted. We went in with the lead at halftime. Had a little opportunity to maybe blow it open right there before the half, and we got a false start call on our jet motion. But we basically, we just told them to keep their heads up, that everything was in good hands. We came in with the lead. We were getting the ball after half. I believe they did stop us on that first drive right after half. But then we got a stop, and the backs continued to run hard, and everybody kept their head up, and good things happened, luckily.
We're talking to Hitchcock coach Cody Carney here on Texas Football Today. Interview brought to you by our friends at Taco Bell. Get involved in the conversation at #TFToday. Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about your offense. You guys do run the slot T, and I think it's not every day, especially in this kind of football atmosphere, that one of the stars of your team and one of the headliners on your team is a fullback. But Xavier Hampton has been a real steady force for you guys all year long. A senior who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. It seems like he's having an even better senior year. You're the guy who gets to see him every day in practice. What can you tell us about this young man?
Xavier's an awesome kid. He's a dream to coach, probably a once-in-a-lifetime athlete that you're going to get to coach at the high school level. I hope I get to coach a bunch more of him, but I doubt it'll happen. He's kind of a steady Eddie guy. He's going to be the same person every day. He's never going to be too high. He's never going to be too low. He's always going to come out and work hard. He's always going to be a leader. Great kid in the classroom. AB student. I mean, he's just all around awesome guy. He's a state champion powerlifter for us. He also gets a chance to make history this year. Be the first guy to ever be a back-to-back state champion powerlifter. The cornerstone of our program is our weight room. We live in the weight room the entire off season and all summer. Don't spend a whole lot of time outside. A lot of our kids got the agility and can run. So we spend a lot of time getting strong, and Xavier's one that's really benefited from that.
You guys, defensively, you guys have been very solid all year long as well. What has worked for you guys defensively that has led to this district championship and this 5-3 start and ultimately a spot in the playoffs?
The defense has just been strong all year. They play with a lot of energy. We get 11 hats to the ball. This year we're playing a lot of guys both ways, which is, double-edged sword. You get one hurt, that's two starters that you lose. But the defense has been playing with a really high intensity this year, and we're real proud of them.
We're talking with Cody Carney, the head coach of the Hitchcock Bulldogs here on Texas Football Today. Our interview brought to you by our friends at Taco Bell. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, I want to talk about your situation in a minute, but before we get into that, you guys did run through a gauntlet of a non-district. You guys, I think that there may have been some people around the state who look at your record after 4 games and thought, okay, that's kind of ugly. You guys started off 1-3, although you guys had losses to state powers like East Bernard and Shiner. When you look back on that, how did those games and how did that tough non-district prepare you for a district run and hopefully a deep playoff run?
Well, we knew going into last year the same thing, and we knew coming to this year that those were going to be 3 tough games. But we'd rather schedule guys like that and be battle tested and fight through some adversity than, schedule somebody and get a blowout win. I believe that you're going to get a lot more out of a close game lost with a tough opponent versus getting an easy win. It's a lot harder to get kids to focus after a big win than it is after a tough loss, in my opinion. Those 3 teams there that we lost to have a combined record right now of 23-3. Mm-hmm. So they're real good football teams, and a lot of them games could have went both ways. Could have went one way or the other, just on a call here or there or a fumble here and there. And we have done a lot better job of protecting the ball since that point. We had a lot of turnovers in them first 3 games, and the kids have done a lot better job of protecting the ball.
Now, I do want to ask kind of about the situation down there because I know that there is it's a little bit different. You weren't the head coach in July. The head coach Craig Smith has late heading into 2 days. I understand had some medical issues and had to step away. You stepped up and you're theoretically the acting head coach. Although I'll tell you. I'll tell you that if you win a district championship as the acting head coach, that's pretty darn good. I want to ask you first and foremost, how is Coach Smith doing? I know we've all been thinking about him. And secondly, for you, how was that transition kind of suddenly to go from offensive coordinator to suddenly the head coach?
First of all, Coach Smith's doing good. It's just been a kind of a slow, long recovery. The doctor said they got him all taken care of, got him fixed up, and that when he does recover, he's going to be a lot better off than he was before. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to getting him back. As far as me taking over, I got a text like 2 or 3 days before 2 days that said, simply, you're in charge and you can handle it. That was all I got.
Oh, okay.
So it was my head was spinning at first. But I the first thing I did was set the kids down and told them what was going on, and there was a lot of text messages going around with the kids, talking about the season was over, Coach Smith was gone, and all this, and I set them down, and I told them nothing's going to change, that Coach Smith has instilled everything that y'all need to know, and yes, I'm here in charge right now, but you already know everything you've done. We've already put in all the work throughout the off season and throughout the summer, and that we can handle this 1 or 2 ways. You can handle it like a boy and cower down and look for an excuse not to play, or you can handle it like a man and step up and play for Coach Smith just like he would expect you to do if he was here.
Yeah, well,
responded well.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you, acting head coach or permanent head coach, you've done a heck of a job down there for the Hitchcock Bulldogs. At least a share of the district championship down there, going for the whole darn thing this weekend against Lamar. Coach, congratulations on all your success. Best of luck. Please send our regards to Coach Smith, and best of luck on Friday night and in the playoffs.
I'll do it, and I appreciate y'all calling us.
Absolutely. There he goes, Cody Carney, the head coach, the Hitchcock Bulldogs. I didn't want to say acting head coach because I feel like that's like almost diminishing it a little bit. Because right. I'll tell you, if that's acting, He's doing a heck of a job.
Right.
He has won the district championship.
No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, if that's a really tough situation to be thrust in. I didn't know how. Coach Smith had told me. I talked with him on Sunday, and he told me it was around two-a-days. I didn't know when it was. I didn't realize it was 2 days before two-a-days.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
gosh.
that you're in charge and you can handle it.
Yep.
Well, okay.
I guess I am, and I guess I can.
Yeah, exactly. That's woo.
It's a heck of a story down there in Hitchcock, and we appreciate Coach Carney hopping on with us as part of our partnership with our friends at Taco Bell.